With tax season around the corner, we need to know how to handle your taxes as an Amazon seller. I spoke with 9 different successful Amazon sellers to find out the best tips and tricks and strategies to run your business for profitability. This is the advice they have for you. My name is Samuel. Let's get down to business. What are your tips for doing taxes for Amazon?
It's such a big topic about taxes, so that's something that you should definitely consult the professional.
And when should you get a professional accountant when you are running your business? At what point in time?
Right away. You have to file your taxes in the first year of business. So the best way is to do it correctly, is to have your accountant file the taxes for you. The actual bookkeeping, I would recommend some softwares that can help you track all the expenses. Those are many right now in the market. They can give you the actual numbers and you can put those numbers into the QuickBook, and then the accountant will file taxes for you.
What I do right now is I look at Amazon payout into my bank account minus all my credit card transactions for inventory purchases and everything else. I mean, that's how we've always done it. So let's just say, for easy math, 500,000 hits your bank account. You look at your credit cards, look at everything you can write off, and you write off 350,000. I have a CPA, so I'm not like the best person to answer that question. But shameless plug, GoToLister is gonna have a button where you click and it actually exports all of your sales, Amazon fees, buy costs. It'll literally be a document you can hand to your CPA, and that's something we've been working hard on. We have gross profit reports right now, but net profit reports are coming out soon, where it tracks your buy cost, everything. So it'll be a more simplified version of what I do.
So you'll use the GoToLister feature.
Right now we're just gross profit, but pretty soon we'll be net
profit.
Exactly.
Okay.
So know your numbers. I can't stress that enough. Early on, I would either learn how to do bookkeeping for your business through QuickBooks or hire a bookkeeper to categorize all of your expenses, and ideally a bookkeeper knowledgeable at Amazon already that understands the Amazon fees. And you should review your finances monthly to really get a grasp on your numbers. And if you're doing bookkeeping right, then taxes are a breeze because you have a full set of books, you have your income statement, balance sheet, everything that a tax preparer will need. So I would say know that stuff early on, start with bookkeeping, then the taxes will kind of fall into your lap if you have your numbers right.
It seems like a pretty arduous thing, but depending on how organized you are, it doesn't need to be. If you're using Inventory Lab does, one of the benefits of it is that it takes all that reports and all the financial data that Amazon provides, and it actually gives it to you in a very clean P&L. If you're using Inventory Lab's P&L, you can actually add all of your expenses in there as well on an ongoing basis. So you have a very clean profit and loss statement that you can just print out and give to your accountant, and they'll be able to do it. It's important that if you are an Amazon seller that's using your house or your apartment to do your work on, you work with your CPA to understand that the room that you are doing your work from, that's an expense. That you're renting that for your business, so you should be able to expense that rent. Your car can be an expense, your phone can be an expense. But it's important to work with a CPA that understands e-commerce taxes to help you minimize your exposure to them.
For people doing arbitrage, especially like me doing online arbitrage, because I'm using Prep Center. So I purchase item online, I simply ship to the Prep Center. I don't have to pay sales tax. And also, I buy enough so that I can get the free shipping. I never file any tax exempt paperwork. Like when you're doing RA, probably you have to do that. I mean, I can avoid completely not to handle any kind of a paperwork in that sense. If a general in the US, you do a business, you file business tax, and then at the end of the year, you file tax. I think the paperwork, basically you really need to do well in your bookkeeping, right? Do it consistently. I do it every other week so that your number would not be piled up. At the end, you try to rush, and then you lose sight of your number. Knowing your number is really important in check your cash flow, understand your business, the state of your business.
My teaching income, like I mentioned, I'm on the path to financial independence, so I'm fortunate that Amazon's doing so well. I don't even need my teaching income, so I actually invested in retirement accounts, which lowers my taxable income. But to answer your question, at the end of the year, I have a number, which is how much profit I made on Amazon. I have a number, which is how much money I made teaching. Put those two together, that's my overall income for that year, and then I fall into a specific tax bracket, and I pay taxes marginally according to how much I made.
When is a good time to get an accountant?
I would say once it becomes too much of an issue, where you're like pulling your hair out, it becomes too difficult for you. That's what I would say. So for me, it became too much of a headache. I'd rather pay someone $500, $700 just to do it for me, because I can spend all that time and stress and hassle focusing on what I'm good at, which is buying books, not figuring out taxes.
Right. So you can spend more of your time doing what you're good at, sourcing.
That's my number one tip. Do what you're great at. Try to delegate everything else.
I recently finally got a bookkeeper. It's been really nice to have clean books. It's not cheap, so you got to make sure you're doing enough business to where you can afford that. That was a really nice addition to the business, because before that, my books weren't very clean and it got pretty stressful. So I actually filed an extension. So you can also file an extension, just having clean books. And if you need to file an extension, those are my tips.
Just have a good track of your inventory balance, making sure that you do ending inventory, and having a good system to pull your inventory balance, and just being able to make sure that you keep up with your cost of goods and having all those numbers ready when you're ready to submit your taxes.
Yeah, so tax tips can be difficult because it's going to vary by person and by situation. Typically, there are a few things that you can do. Obviously, writing off as many expenses as you can is important, but you also can only write off certain things based off the type of business that you are. So if you're an S Corp or a certain type of a corporation, you can have an accountable plan that can help you write off some of your home expenses. But if you're not an S Corp, then you may not be able to do that. So working with the right person is key, and not just just any tax person. You need to work with somebody that does specialize in e-commerce, because there's so many rules that change for e-commerce that don't apply to other businesses. So anything that you can do to just be smart with your taxes and write things off as much as you can is going to be a huge help. But working with the right person, doing tax planning, is going to be the biggest help possible.
I hope you learned something new and got some fresh ideas. Taxes are important, but just as important is using the best Amazon AI repricer that can help you increase your sales. Try out the BQool AI repricer and start winning the Amazon Buy Box and earning more profits. That's all for today, folks. I'll see you in our next video.